go and work with it. Tip or tap. And the woman them talk, you know. Time again. Hear what is going on. Still there work. Boy, we still accumulate up enough time.
Yeah.
Realize they must have chopped me off on the 1 hour mark. So I just
That's why they must chop you off, man. When it's depend on your page, they may not chop you off so often.
No. But you know, I saw it go. The journey begins with one step. So,
One step.
yeah, so the first one over here tonight. Over here, mark 26. Yeah, Bobo, I said, I forgot to turn liar because we are defending, man. But I don't really defend.
I know defend.
And a defend is just that you just have to accept things for what it is some of the time. You know, it's to know. Only if him tell me say him know better then me can put the fire upon him. But for him thing just look like a man can genuinely sound because the things that when I ask for. Because he might ask want to be a father them are rare. So you know say him genuinely to me genuinely I just saw him feel about it. Say yo feel responsibility, I feel responsibility.
I feel him youth alone.
Yeah, and then
him not feel like him supposed to take up responsibility for everybody else.
We in terms of I saw it the court system said. So you see if them work off a system style that him about to me.
Yeah, but you see that when she not look on still enough. If she go in a court system with that now, right? Is she wrong enough?
That's why I tell you say a system him a deal with. It's just a system man to know say yo feel responsibility, I feel responsibility. And now know say yo children are the future, every youth are my youth.
Yeah.
You see me?
Cause she could have look on it same way. If him never do that, she same one could have turn around and say, all right, I carry for child support because you now look after your youth.
Yeah, and who shall get money for? She think of it for them?
Exactly. She only get if you one.
Okay. So I say, and then now she have to go blood clean find the rest of 3 or the next 2 or wait for 1. She have to go find.
She have to go hunting for the other one them.
Yeah. You see me? I just saw it go. So if it was a case where she have something to prove, she could call the next father and say, yo, here where you want burger in the cause him father. Father bring one for him brother and him one for himself. Him no want shit.
Yeah. You want for him one too.
Own. So it's either you just bring one for him or something and then the man they know would have to just step up and run go bring burger. Because I mean here say if him can do it or if him can't do it, him send a money make a money reach. You see me because of that me would have do because there's no way know me I go here say my youth want something because him brother father bring it and him can't get it.
Him can't get it.
Argument over that. No, me I go look like a fish. Because you know we step up and take care of my duty.
Yeah.
You see me?
Yep.
So in a systematical way so it would have go. Should have just call the next part of them.
Should have to go find them. Cause she can't really blame him, you know. Even though we say, well, you still don't principle is principle. You not bring for one or don't bring for the other one them, but at the same time it might look after him one.
At the third world as them say, Africa grows up. You see me? That when the way you talk about it, not go systematically. The system that
it's a different system thing. This you know Americanized system. Even though Canada stay the same way, it's stay the same way, but not as bad.
Yeah, but some place like Carolina and them places where we not to go. But when we watch something and read, they move more like Caribbean people, they're more family orientated. So maybe different state or a different place. You see what I say? I'm on the approach different too. So it still boils down to the same thing from mine. It's all about the upbringing, where them adapt or where them know.
Right. That's how it goes. But I don't know. I don't rate them something this time. But I know them foolishness there. Better you get your call and say, all right, may I come pick up the youth.
Yeah.
If you know you can't afford it, right? Or you know, say you not do it. Better you call and say, I come pick up the youth for half an hour or so. And call it a day.
Yeah.
You know? Mm.
Well done.
Better you say, I come pick him up for half an hour, man.
Yeah, man, that make more sense, man. But I just say,
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, it's not even him or she or the other pitney them,
yeah.
right? Or the other pitney them,
And then,
them are going to feel bad.
yeah, and some of them things are still, and that's why I'm saying it's the social networking still. It's good and it's bad. It's good in a way, you know, when they do all a thing like this, and we get to enlighten stuff like this. Because, as we say, it's what I say, you hear where the warrior, I say a while ago, from Canada, I must say, you know, him take up a woman. As a young youth, him take up a woman, you know, he meet her at
Yeah.
6 month baby, you know. You see,
Mm-hmm.
where in a real time, some people don't even consider if they go date yet or rare.
Them not look for you.
And him carry her home as a youth. You see me?
Yeah.
So when I try to show him now, say the reason why I'm 15 and that coming like nothing, him brought up that way there. Because him see him father do that. So him grew
Yeah.
that way there. So him don't even,
Yeah.
him don't even realize. See, I grew
It
up.
just come natural to him.
Yeah, me want to make that way there.
Yeah, coming natural.
Yeah, man.
You know?
That way the man, so, you know, one of them things that we have to take in consideration.
Mm. Good night.
Good night.
What's up?
Make me thinking about you guys got me thinking about my stepdad.
Yeah?
Yeah, he it took me many years to build a real relationship because I was already like I want to say 8 or 9 by the time him and my mom got married. But he came all the way from Canada and met my mom with 2 little kids already. Completely uprooted his life and moved immediately, like moved in and took us in as his own kids. And, you know, as a child, it was hard for me to accept that. But thinking now that I have kids, thinking back on that, it's like, wow, it's not easy for another man to come into someone's life and to take on their family and take on their kids as their own. You know, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. That is so true. You have to say about that, Suzette.
It's true still because a lot of men do it, you know. But this on the flip side, a lot of men don't have the heart to do it.
Yeah.
Cause even my situation, my ex when him come in the picture, my daughter was what 2 year old, right? She was
Yeah.
about 2 year old, and right away, you know, him take her all right. The attitude when coming in with is this is he treat her like a female right off the bat. But you see, the minute me get pregnant with female, that one day I no fee him again. Once him biological child come in the picture,
No,
him not care about the other one.
here what catch
Him
him.
not see the other one as female.
Here what catch him. I not see him, not see, man. It's just that the love overwhelm and him not come out of that space.
Mm-hmm.
Because some man go there, even some woman go there and not come back. And it's a case where even with parenting, it catch you with even your own.
With
Yeah,
your own.
some youth will just amaze you more than some. And then consciously or subconsciously without you even know it, you know, you lean to a thing or you do more, but it's just the energy that you're getting. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
catch yourself and say, all right, you know, even though over your son or two, but we put some attention to bring them up to speed or up to par. But it happened like that because, you know, some of them brain just faster than some. And then them just require some more. So here want me know him get up in a cloud 9 with him energy of, you know, maybe I go to him first youth. I'm first youth?
No.
Well, I'm first daughter?
Mm-mm.
Well, maybe I choose first one with you. So him just reach out now and him just love the youth there so much that him forgot the rest of love. Him don't know if he share it again.
Mm. Because when it was just her, you know, anyway him there. As soon as him walk through the door, she all climb on him shoulder, on him everywhere. Him sit down. You don't see one without the other one. But the minute the other one ban, it coming like you just flip a switch.
You just never know, like you just never know how those kinds of circumstances are going to end up working out. You know, it's like a hit or miss. It's like you just never know, and it's rare. It's rare to find circumstances that blend. It takes a lot of integration and blend.
Take work.
It takes a lot of work, and you have to look at it from the perspective of what would you want for your kids, right? So you would love someone else's kids the same way you would want someone to love your kids, right? And so typically in all relationships, you want to go into it thinking, I'm going to treat this person the way I would want to be treated, right? Same thing you want for your kids. You want them to be treated, and you want to treat other kids the way you want your kids to be treated, you know? But so many times it gets lost in translation because blending isn't so simple. Like you said, it takes a lot of work.
And here what I feel, here what I think is the problem or cause most of the problem. It's schooling part. Because everybody will alright if a child is, you know, it's just a child, like you have to buy a meal or maybe buy a suit. Alright with that. But when it comes on to, okay, hit the shower, you know, brush your teeth, prepare that meal.
The discipline.
Take up this, take up that. It becomes frustrating. Not everyone
wants. The discipline.
Yeah, not everyone wants to do that for kids that is not theirs. They feel, you know, like
that's when things work.
But see, when it comes to that now, it depends on the mom too, right? Because if you're stepping in the situation, you're stepping in as a father. That mother has to be open to allow you
to parent.
To parent.
Yeah.
Just like it's your child.
Yeah.
Because when I see some women do, you know, it's like, it's not your child, you can't say this and it's
and
how you ever tell the man same can't say that and I him I raise the pitney.
Yeah, and as you say, I was gonna say something but it don't even make sense because you shouldn't even put yourself in a situation where the person is not fit. Because I was gonna say if that person is fit enough to school the child, but you shouldn't even in a relationship with that person.
If that person is not fit.
Yeah, so you're right. You know, it should be
you know, because it makes sense what you said just now. Like, how you gonna tell, you know, a mom who's raising a stepchild that it's not your child, you can't scold the child, or it's not your child, you can't take them without asking me, or you can't do this without, you know, but you bring this person in that situation. You brought this person in this child's life.
Yeah, there's gotta be,
right? You're living with this person. You're allowing your child to live with this person.
As we say about the cow and the calf, you know, you take the cow, you have to accept the calf. So
you have to accept it.
Cow has to also know that, yo, we are in a new pasture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's gotta be, like, I think from what I experienced, like when I was going through my adolescent years, is when it started getting messy. Like when my stepfather started transitioning from being like the friendly parent. Like in the beginning, you know, he would show up and he would buy us like all kinds of things and take us to fun places, and it was fun and games, right? But then when I got older and I started getting into trouble and he would start disciplining me, that's when the problems started. And that's when it was like, oh no, you're not my dad. You can't do that to me, right? Because children will manipulate those circumstances. Children will use whatever they can use to their advantage to be able to do what they want to do. And the step parent is always going to be the vice because that's the person that is coming in from the outside. So if there's a problem, a lot of times it's going to go in that direction.
Yeah, but that's where, you know, the mom should have stepped in right there and said, you know what? He's been playing the dad all these years.
Right.
He's been taking that role, right?
But
She should have given him full reign
yeah,
from day one.
yeah,
If you're gonna take this role, you gotta take all of it. You can't just take part, no. And then, you know, you wanna be the good parent, the nice one, the doing all of this, and then when it comes to everything else, you're backing off. You can't back off. You have to pick it up from day one.
yeah.
You have to carry it all out.
Makes sense.
It's sometimes it's the kids too, that it's sometimes the parents could be doing everything right. The parents could be doing everything right, but it's the kids that have a hard time accepting it. And so, you know, kids navigate through change differently. And every kid is parented, I think, according to who the child is. Ideally, that's how I like to see it, right? I like to parent each kid for who they are, not necessarily like military style, right? So everyone has a different way, and every kid has a different way of handling situations. And so if, you know, one kid is reacting really positively to this type of parenting and the other kid isn't, you know, it's between the couple to decide where those boundaries are, what works for which kid, what doesn't work, right? Like for some kids, like a step parent being more of like the friend, or yeah, like a parent, but more like a friend, works better for them than a step parent being the disciplinary. You know, it depends on the kid.
I differ with a few things though, because even what you're saying about most of the times when you spoil kids is when you're trying to please every one of them. So that is why you create a style and you work with that pattern. You know what I mean? For instance, 99% of the time or 95% of the time, I would say the military style works. You know why? Because it instills discipline. That is the way you have to run your home. So not because, for instance, like with meals you can get away. If you don't eat that and you don't eat that. But if you're gonna set a structure and you know that one like to sleep in the day and one like to stay up, you can't have them doing that. Because
Right.
you're gonna create a upstor, or you're gonna create, you know, an unbalance. So
Yep.
you still have to set measures and rules for all. You know, one goes for all. So that is when you're gonna let them know that no one is better than no one. Those style you let them know that each of us matter. No
Right.
one is better than no one. But if you try to do please all of them individually, you're gonna create a chaos in
Right.
my.
So to spice this conversation up a little bit, I had a stepmother who was evil, 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 evil. She was just horrible, and to the point where like it was so bad that basically their marriage didn't last. But what I mean, a lot of times people think of step parents, they think about the male, like the stepfather, right? But we don't always think about what happens with when women step in and don't treat, you know, the kids fairly, or disrespect the kids because they're jealous of the kid's mother, or for whatever reason. You know, you see a lot of that.
Yeah,
That's
it's the same emotion we made mention of earlier. Most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
emotion that vengeance that is carrying out from the woman's perspective. So you
yeah,
know, just bring over to the youth, in my eyes, you know,
yeah.
because as I said, you know, just thinking about it, you wonder why and how a woman would treat, especially girls. Why would you treat a girl?
Especially seeing that they're mothers themselves.
Right.
Yeah, so you know, and you, in yourself, you know that she's becoming a woman. She's gonna become a woman one day. So as
Yeah.
oh yeah, your brain trigger to treat a young girl bad. I don't see no logics in it.
When you're supposed to be nurturing and teaching and, you know, guiding her.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the way that women could step parent gone bad can technically be worse, can be way worse than a man step parenting and not stepping up fully versus a woman stepping in and being a snake and being toxic and being horrible, because that just does so much more psychological damage than, you know, a parent that's not fully stepping in the role because they don't know how, or they haven't been taught how to do that, or they have never experienced and they don't understand how to fulfill that role if it's a new role for them in their life, right? Because sometimes men
Still comes back to the, like what Vibrant said before. It still come back to the emotion.
As
You know.
I was
I
going to
think
mention
part
of
of,
I was gonna make mention of the feminine energy, because most problem that kids have with their stepdad is the discipline. If you
yeah,
listen, most of
Mm-hmm.
it is the discipline. But with woman know the power of a woman, so that mind game starts so early that you will be a man in your house with your own child, a girl, and she's going through a mind game with your wife, and you don't know. You
Mm-mm.
that is just the feminine power. So I understand what she's saying about the evil and the just, you know,
it
'cause
was really bad.
the mind game can start pretty early. Yeah. And that helps to destroy, like, what do you call it now? What's the word?
It breaks the self-esteem. It
Yeah,
breaks your consciousness.
the self-belief, you know, it create a doubt,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
When
Yeah.
I was dealing with that,
Because I've had conversation with girls, and they're telling me that, you know, stuff like that, stepmoms and moms calling them a whore at 8 and 7 before they even know about sex, and they are a
But
whore.
the thing what most women, what I find most women don't get to know, few simple words that you use, your choice of words that you use can damage a girl child for life, you know.
Yeah,
yeah,
Even a boy to even a male child too.
right,
It damages a child for life, you know.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Just your simple choice of words.
Yeah,
The same simple choice of word can build a person for life, you know.
yeah. I mean, male and you know, female, like the children absorb everything. They're sponges. They absorb everything. They remember everything. They hear everything. And sometimes step parents do a better job at parenting than parents who are biological,
Mm-hmm.
because they've already
Mm-hmm.
this shit and they've come out of it. They know why they came out of what they came out of and why they want to do something different or do something better. And sometimes it works even better that way. You can see success stories happen left and right, you know, both male and female. Like having a healthy female presence as a step parent and having a healthy male presence as a step parent can sometimes be the missing piece of the puzzle in a child's life, you know.
about you see with step kid situation, the brave ones, those are the ones that work out, because the reality is, you know, looking in from the outside, like it's like a game. When you're on the sideline, you see the game better. So when you're coming in from the outside as a good person, you're gonna see the truth, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
with the parent, sometimes the smoke screen, like a parent will see the truth about their child and they deny it, while somebody with a good heart coming in from the outside, they're gonna acknowledge the truth and work on that.
They see everything. They can look and read through everything.
You know, yeah.
They're not blinded by like parental.
Yeah, your child is short and think he's Michael Jordan. We try to find a way and let him know that he's short. Like the step kid
Yeah.
do that. You know what I mean? And some of the time, that is the good thing about a brave step parent. You know, when you create that bond and, like, you know, you let the youth know, you prepare that youth for tomorrow. You don't sugarcoat things. And then tomorrow when that child come around, it's like, what? My mom didn't tell me this. My dad didn't tell me this. So most of
But I think one other thing we don't understand too, you know, as step parents stepping in, right? You have to think these kids can see them can read you, you know.
Right.
These kids read you from you step through the door, so you gotta be real. They know if you're faking it.
yeah.
You know, these kids can tell if you're faking it.
I,
But sometimes us as parents, we don't listen. You
yeah.
know, the kids will be telling us it. you know, that's not real. It's a screen. But we're not listening. But a kid can see it and read it and know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a feeling, man. Sometimes
it's a feeling.
But it's also a tricky feeling. Because some of
Mm-hmm.
on their own way. They're not even thinking about it. They selfishly want mom for themselves or want dad for yourself.
Yes.
But they don't want
That's true.
you know.
That's true.
Here I was saying earlier on even about shock with good parenting because his stepdad. Remember Shaq couldn't even play basketball, but his stepfather just
Mm-hmm.
this big grown ass looking man in girl house. Not can't do shit.
Yeah.
And him decide
Can't do nothing.
have this big tall ass boy and he have to learn. Even if him can't do it, him have to learn. So that is
Something.
while some man will come around him no business, him see a big grown ass tall man taller than him. In a response to him, next thing I got
You know response for him. If I look for you like you're a big man, you do response for yourself.
So, you know, it's just a case where you have to brave and step up to the plate and try. Because some try ain't not work, you know. The same thing like what you guys was talking about in terms of the mom is letting you know that yo is not your child. Don't do this and don't do that.
Communication.
Yeah.
But like before, trial and error is, you know, you learn through experience. You learn that way with children, and children learn that way with us too. So like they're building in their memory trial and error from what they see us doing, right? And so vice versa. And so like transitions for children are so sensitive. When children are going through transitions, everything is so much more intense for them. All their emotions are more intensified. All of their experiences, the way they're perceiving things are going to be through the eyes of this transition. It makes them more sensitive, right? So in the beginning and during transitional times, like it takes a lot of blending, like integration. Integration doesn't just happen, you know, overnight. Integration takes a step-by-step process, and especially when they're younger. You would think it's easier when they're younger, but they're more sensitive at that age. You know, they remember everything. They hold on to every little thing. So transitional energy is like you have like a goal in mind and you're working towards that goal, and you're not expecting perfection, right? Immediately the second you walk into a situation, you work your way in it. So like, for example, like I work with special needs kids for many years. And one of the things I learned about that was transitions and change are not just for special needs kids, but all kids, like the biggest thing that impacts a child's life. And so the first step we would take as therapists in working with these kids was just pairing with them. Pairing means you're just building a relationship at first. You're not going to come in and immediately start placing demands on these kids and immediately start expecting to behave a certain way. They're going to act out at first. They're going to be like, oh, this is a new person. I'm going to try to pull all my strings on this person. I'm going to try to manipulate the situation as much as I can, right? So just going into a new situation, you know, every person has to think about, what is this child coming from and what is the end goal? And pairing is important, not just with special needs kids, but with all parenting and all kids, building a relationship with them, biological parents and step-parents, because that is what's going to build a bond. And without the bond, you're not going to find success in all of the efforts that you make. You know, bonding time is really the glue that holds it together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you know,
That is so true.
this is what you call it now. Extra time. Extra so,
Time to say goodnight.
yeah, I keep up too longer. So you know, this is where we're gonna be at every Sunday. So you know, give thanks for joining us, and everyone give thanks. Have a great night and a great holiday, a great weekend, a great week strong, a great starting of the week. You know, give thanks. Gyalis Road. Sunset, Oracle, give thanks. Blessed.
Thank
All right.
you. Blessings.